So, how did you two meet?
Blind date,
Yeah,
actually.
Okay.
July 9th, 1986.
Classmate from high school, known a few years, and we came close to possibly meeting like 3 or 4 years before that
Yeah.
in Ottawa, but we didn't. You were away at your parents or something like that, and so it was a few years later. I think there was a speeding ticket involved. A friend had a speeding ticket. Karen worked in a law firm, and he needed some help, and he just decided we should meet.
How did I know? Oh, my ex-boyfriend and him were good friends. First time in my entire life, I don't think I wanted to meet somebody, and I had actually given notice on my apartment, and I was going to move to Florida. I had a good friend that lived down there, and so I wasn't interested in meeting anyone, and that's when it happens, right? And he's like, "You sure? Maybe like there's this guy." And I'm like, "Okay, I've never been on a blind date. How bad can it be if Brian knows who
and
he
I'm
is?"
leaving the country.
Yeah, it's not gonna turn into anything. So
No, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
apparently it did turn into something.
There you go.
Well, we were chaperoned too.
Yeah, Brian came with us on the blind date.
Okay, because he's going to see how it went.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So
nice.
where did we go? We went to Sorrento's.
Lieutenant pubs or
No, that's where we went second. We went to Sorrento's first, the
okay.
Italian place,
Yeah.
For dinner, and then we went to the Lieutenant's Pump, which is on Elgin Street in Ottawa, for a drink. And then from there, we went back to your apartment, still with Brian.
Right.
Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at
Coffee hasn't
Brian's.
kicked in
Yeah, it's like a Wednesday night, and I never stay up that late. But he's like, "Oh, I'll make us a coffee." And it's like, I don't normally drink coffee late at night, or I wouldn't sleep. But he's like, "Okay, whatever." So Jonathan leaves the room, and I'm like to Brian, like him, give him my number. And then at one point, apparently, I went to the bathroom, and you did the exact same thing. Hey, I like her. Give me your number. And so he totally embarrassed us both at the end of the evenings going, "Well, you've both let us know that you like each other, so why don't you exchange phone numbers?" And you're kind of like,
Oh
there
my
you go.
God.
Embarrassed and
Okay.
shy. Back in the day when, nobody had a cell phone
phone.
to
You had
just
to
exchange
call.
contacts. Yeah.
And you didn't email them or
didn't even have email, no.
You didn't
No,
text.
that
There was
was
no
an option.
texting.
Yeah.
None of that was an
Yeah.
option.
And he called the very next day and invited me for
I
lunch.
think I broke some rules there.
Yeah.
I was supposed to wait a couple of days. or
Oh, were
something.
you supposed to hold off and pretend you were hard to get?
Yeah.
I was traveling. I was studying in Europe at the time, and I think I was gone for like
96 days.
96 days.
3 months, and somewhere in the at one point I'm in a city with a bunch of people, or a class full of classmates that were all traveling together, and I just realized I'd rather be there with her than all these people I knew really well and got along with. But it was about 3 months of being away from her. I want to share my life with this person.
with
That's 2 years in, honey.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
2 years in.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was my
okay.
Thanksgiving of that year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was very happy,
Yes.
in those 2 years, but
Well, I knew I was madly in love by Thanksgiving, so we started on July 9th, and by that October, I think I told you I love you. You didn't tell it back, but he wasn't ready yet. But you did the following New Year's.
yeah,
So you knew you were in love with me, but you didn't know you wanted to spend the whole life with me.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I assumed when he was in Rome and we were apart that when he got back, he'd be on bended knee at the airport. So,
Right.
So much so that I asked his parents for their guest list for people at our future wedding, even though he hadn't even proposed.
She didn't warn me either.
Did you know that was happening?
No.
Oh my
No.
god.
And I got the list from my mom too, and I was arranging all the seating, who's going to sit with who, and who knows each other, and what would they have a connection to connect, And
There was a little
do all the
disappointment
networking
at the
planning.
airport.
Yes.
There's a little disappointment, a little bit later.
Well, I figured, I didn't get on bended knee at the airport because we were going to my parents' place for dinner, and they lived near the airport. Because, of course, you'd have to ask my
Yeah,
dad,
I'd have
right?
to ask your dad.
Didn't
yeah.
happen. It's like, oh, okay. Well, but then he was coming out to Victoria for Christmas to visit his grandmother that year, and it's like, oh, but he's coming home early for New Year's. It's going to be New Year's. No. It must be Valentine's then, because he's
Yeah.
romantic, right? No. Okay, my birthday in March then. No. And then I gave up.
Then you gave up.
And he finally proposed May long weekend.
I was trying to figure out how I could possibly surprise her. It's pretty hard to surprise Karen. So we arranged a dinner out with my family
Toronto.
in Toronto, and had a restaurant arranged, and I got was my
Your dad
brother-
dropped us off.
Dad dropped us off. They were going to go around and
He had to go pick up Melissa
some
from
other
work.
people and come and bring them to the restaurant, but nobody else was actually coming.
They
It
just-
got Karen there. And then,
But we were at a table for like 7
Yeah.
or 8 people, thinking we're just
Right.
waiting for everybody else to arrive.
So I managed to
So you
surprise
really,
her in
oh,
the
he
restaurant.
got you good.
Yeah, he
then.
did. He did. Holding hands under the table.
Yeah.
We ordered a glass of wine each because I was like,
Yeah.
"Are you sure you don't want to wait and order a bottle when your parents come?" It's like, "No. Like,
Yeah, I
it might
think-
be a while."
I
Let's have a
had to
glass
get it
each."
out of the way before the meal came.
Yeah,
we-
because you're butterflies.
well,
Yeah.
and we'd be eating dinner with nobody else
With
there.
nobody else,
Yeah.
So it was important to do it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And
And so you put the box in my hand under the table
yeah,
and
Oh.
said, "Do you remember what you said?"
in the absence of my parents or
My
my family,
family,
and in the
yeah.
absence of my family, would you marry me? I think.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Because
Really
Karen
well.
remembers these things.
Yes.
She knows
And
every
I said
day.
1,000 times over. We did the quick wedding, which is why I just find it wild that people wait like years and years to
Yeah.
get married now. But we got engaged May long weekend and we got married August 19th, so 5 months.
So I think we're fortunately quite common in the things we like to do. Like we have a lot in common in terms of socializing and who we like to be with
Yeah.
and.
We both like travel. We both like
Yeah.
art, and I think in our case, our even though we didn't know each other as kids, our upbringings were very similar. We both
Right.
grew up in, I guess, British type families, and so we had a lot of the same expectations when we became parents about how to raise kids. Which I know that can be a challenge for
Right.
some people when they
Yeah.
have very different upbringings, and that was really easy for us. Discovered we had similar family Christmas traditions, so it was easy to adopt. Then it wasn't I'm doing your tradition or our tradition. We had similar things, so that was really handy. But I mean, having similar interests goes a long way because then you
Yeah.
want to do stuff together,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You don't end up growing apart.
Yeah. And even the friends that we choose tend to be, almost always, of equal interest to both of us.
Yeah.
I think though that I'm a total suck, as you very well know. He's a trooper on the sucky department receiving end. So
Okay.
I probably tell you I love you, honestly, 5 to 10 times a day. Like it's
Oh, that's
it's
nice.
constant. So
Well, that's what I
um,
really
I keep
like.
forgetting.
I like that. I like.
I say I love you, and I get I love you too. So every now and then when he says it first, like, oh, you didn't say two. It's like you
Yeah.
did it first. So I'm sucky that way. Yeah, and lots of hugs,
Lots of
Yeah,
hugs.
yeah, we're pretty
touchy feely.
PDA. Yeah.
I mean, and you can't have it one person likes it and one person doesn't, because that wouldn't work either,
No.
right? So
No,
No.
it just keeps getting better.
it just keeps getting better.
I know
Okay.
people think that it doesn't, that you get bored with each other and it's hard to have be with the same person for the rest of your life. But I mean, recently with stuff going on in our family, I've just learned new things about him. I mean,
Yeah.
30 years later, I mean, we've been together 32 years,
Yep.
33 years, I don't know, it's a long time. You still learn about new things
Yeah.
about each other, right? So,
Mhm.
you don't get bored. You just continually grow and learn together, and that's important to always be listening.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of listening.
Lots of.
I'm very good at
I'm
listening.
very good at listening. Oh, that's funny.
Some people are better at listening. Other people are better at talking.
Talking, yeah.
Right.